I found out that it's not only prevalent, but this ideal has influenced our community pervasively, using the house of the Guru to justify our own sin. I do want to say that although it seems like the norm of the culture today, this conversation isn't meant to disparage anyone, but rather for us, me especially, to learn from. A while back, I was pretty graced to be able to speak with a bunch of Sikhs in an online forum. And when I joined that forum, I was very excited, but I realized an ideal was influencing our community that I had no clue about. As I joined that forum, one of the first things I see, they're posting pictures of girls. They're asking some questions that seem pretty harmful in nature. I asked why, and they were very kind about it. They explained to me that these descriptions that they had about the Sikhs that were given by the British many years ago told them that these Sikhs were very rowdy, they would talk in such manners, and so they were taking after those own distinctions. The question that arises to me instinctively, should a man on the street talk that way about your sister, how would you react? Sadda Sikhi de vich it teaches you should treat all women that you meet throughout this life as your sisters except for your lawfully wedded wife. This is a beautiful sentiment, a great way to start getting rid of all of these harmful ideals that are from our culture and influence our mind. And I think it's so interesting and a great example because when we see how people mistreat the Sikh women that are part of our community, we react super aggressively. We get super defensive, right? But when it comes to perpetrating that same act, if we believe it is justified by what it means to be a Sikh, then it feels like our values switch up. I don't think that there's anything wrong with the soul. The soul is something handcrafted by God, and I don't put much blame on souls, but I do put a whole lot on the ideals that influence them. But we are given a great liberty, the capacity to reject and accept ideals. Today I want to discuss how we can reject these ideals and especially not believe they're justified in the name of God without knowing what God really wants for us. One of the best graces we have in Sikhi is a guidebook on how to be a good one. Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji guides us so well in terms of the ideals that we should carry out throughout our life. It's important, I think, that we take how we live our life from what the Gurus would want for us. If we wouldn't act a certain way in the Gurdwara Sahib, why would we act everywhere else? Because the house of God is not only what we built, but what God built for us to act within. As today's action step, free yourself of hate and guide one another towards growth. Guide one another away from a culture that gives you every reason to justify what you're doing, and find something that you just believe is good, that God helps you understand is good. Sadda Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji de vich there is so much that explains to you very clearly how a good life will help you and how you feel so at peace with it. Don't feel a need to make peace, but feel the blessing of getting to experience it.